Yo, DMC back with another video. Hold on, let me turn my fan on. It's too damn hot in here. But you feel me? I know I didn't upload for the past 3 days. Low-key was tired. You feel me? But I'm back. That's all that matters. How y'all messing with the cornrows? Look, I'm looking nice, ain't I? You feel me? Don't ask me why I didn't put a front taper in front of my head. I'm not answering that question. Just leave it alone.
It meant no police intervention or drivers honking to get a pass. I was doing fine until I came across the two kids standing under a streetlight that kept flickering. The boy looked to be around 11, and the girl was maybe 10. They weren't waving or sobbing or doing anything kids should do when they're standing on a dark road at 1 in the morning. They were just standing there, like they'd been waiting.
Nigga, I would have drove right past them. Deadass. There is deadass no reason why you should stop right there and give them a ride. There is no reason. I don't care how old they are. There is no reason.
I should have kept driving, but something about how still they were made me pull over. The passenger window was already down, making it easier for the girl to lean in.
Can you take us home?
Where are your parents?
We're lost. Can we get in?
I looked around to observe how
This is what we gotta think about when we do shit like this, my nigga. We gotta think of pros, then we gotta think of cons. What is the pros of you letting them shits in? Nothing. Now, I can think of a million cons on why you should not let them in, but I guess we're just gonna overlook it.
only tall looming trees were the only living creatures in sight.
Where do you live? I can ring the cops.
We'll tell you where to turn. Just
I ain't no fucking way she tell me to turn. Like, how are you lost and you telling me what to turn? Nigga, that just contradict everything you just said. You feel me?
take us home.
Before I could say anything else, they opened the back door, climbed in, and buckled.
And why that little nigga ain't saying shit for? He's just sitting there in the back looking at me. Tell him to say something. That would make me nervous as hell. Someone just sitting in the back not saying a word. You're up to something.
Themselves without being asked. I watched them in the rearview mirror, trying to figure out what felt wrong. It had to be their clothes, given how outdated they looked. The boy wore khakis and a polo that seemed to belong to a 90s catalog. The girl had on a denim jumper with flowers on the pockets. Everything looked clean and pressed, but old somehow.
So where am I going?
I asked, putting the car in drive.
Just keep going straight. I'll tell you where to turn.
I shrugged and hit the gas. 5 minutes passed, and the boy leaned forward between the seats, staring at the dashboard. How fast are you going?
45.
Are you tired?
A little.
How much did you drink? I glanced at him in the mirror.
Excuse me?
The girl grabbed it.
Now we starting to catch on. These are not number questions that you hear from a little kid. These niggas are doors, so we
His arm.
You're not supposed to yet.
Not supposed.
the fuck? Yeah, and that's when I would've stop the car, get the fuck out. If they not getting out, they can have the car. No, I'm kidding. You gonna have to fight for it.
To what?
King of Hill.
Neither of them answered. The boy sat back, but his eyes stayed on me through the mirror. His stare was flat and curious, like he was studying me. I tried to shake off the chills crawling up my spine, asked them their names, how they got lost, and what their parents did. They barely gave me anything except instructions.
Turn left at the next light.
Why are you following? Why are you taking directions from these niggas? You gotta think in your head, why are little kids out here? You don't just see little kids out in the middle of the dark, calm and collective. Like, let's be real. You should know this.
I did, and realized that we were heading away from the neighborhood I knew. As the houses got farther apart, I could see more trees and fewer streetlights. At a stoplight,
And this why I just smoked, my nigga. I did as just smoked, and now I'm 10 times more paranoid. And this the first thing I see when I look back up.
I looked in the rearview mirror. The kids were sitting there, but something was off. Their faces looked dimmer, like the
You might gotta give up that car for real.
light was avoiding them. I blinked hard. When I looked again, everything seemed normal.
Do you remember this road?
Should I?
The girl elbowed him.
Stop! She doesn't remember yet.
My hands
What in the fuck? My nigga, how are you not taking these hints?
tightened on the wheel.
Remember what?
Turn right up here.
She ignored my question. We turned onto a road I didn't recognize. It was narrow with zero paint on the asphalt and only trees pressing in on both sides. The headlights barely cut through the dark. My heartbeat picked up.
Where are we going?
My voice came out higher than I meant it to.
Almost there.
They started whispering to each other now. I couldn't make out the words, but their tone was urgent. They were arguing about something.
Do you believe accidents can replay themselves?
The girl suddenly asked.
Or what?
Slow down. It's right here.
I squinted, and a gate with old
Nigga hitting you with the riddlers.
rusted iron bars appeared on the left. It was pitch dark beyond the fence, and rows of shapes I recognized as headstones.
It's a cemetery.
I gasped as I slowed to a crawl.
Stop the car.
My foot hovered over the brake. Everything in me screamed to keep driving, but I couldn't. It was like something else was controlling my leg.
Alright, Dempsey, stay calm. Something is finna pop out and scare the dog shit out of you, my nigga. I need you to keep your demeanor.
As the car stopped, the kids fell silent. The girl pointed through the fence at a single grave visible in the moonlight. It was close to the road. The headstone was small and plain. It held no name I could see from here, but a date was carved into the stone. It was tonight, 10 years ago.
This is where it happened.
My head started pounding as images flashed. I remembered headlights, my car swerving, brakes.
They asked you, the little boy asked you, have you been drinking? Then they asked you, do you remember this road? The girl said you do not remember, like she don't remember yet. This is all a flash, not a flashback, but she going through a cycle right now of her murdering 2 kids because she was drunk. And now a cycle is repeating right now of their ghosts in the car with her, asking her, do she remember? Oh my goodness.
Screeching, and 2 small figures in the road.
God, no!
You were young and drunk that night. You didn't see us until it was too late.
No!
My voice broke. I could barely breathe.
You were walking home. You came around the curve too fast.
The memories hit me all at once.
And then you drove off.
I could feel the impact, hear the sound. I remember getting out and seeing them on the asphalt and choosing to drive away. The news reports never identified the 2 kids. The case was cold from the beginning. I looked in the mirror. The kids were staring at me with those flat, empty eyes.
It's
I
coming.
was shaking. We just wanted to go home. I slammed.
Bitch, why the hell are you doing outside in the middle of the night anyway? I'm not saying she should, like she was right. Well, why in the hell are you doing outside in the middle of the night by yourself? There is no houses in view. I would have probably did the same shit. I would have been scared.
My foot on the gas. The car lurched forward. I didn't look back. Couldn't look back. I just drove, taking turns randomly until I couldn't see the cemetery anymore. I finally pulled onto the shoulder miles away, still trembling like a leaf. I sat there trying to breathe, trying to convince myself I'd imagined it. That's when my eyes fell on the rear window, and I screamed. Small, muddy handprints were smeared across the inside of the glass, like someone had been pressing their palms against it to push through and get out. Or maybe trying to get home. I drove straight to the police station and told them everything. They pulled up the case, and it was still an unsolved hit and run. Emma and Jacob Martinez were twins, walking home from a friend's house. I'm waiting for the trial now, but what keeps me up isn't the prison time. It's knowing that those kids are still out there, standing under that streetlight, waiting for someone to take them home, and wondering who's going to pull over next.
Okay. I thought a jump scare was coming. I was trying to prepare myself mentally, but I feel I ain't gonna lie. If it would have came, it would have been up anyway.
I saw her around 11 p.m. on Route 9, standing with her thumb out. She was maybe 25, wearing jeans and a gray hoodie. Her left shoe was missing, and she looked pale and shaken in my headlights. My mom raised me to help people in need, so I pulled over without second thoughts. She jogged up with this grateful smile, thanking me over and over as she explained how her boyfriend threw her out after a
Hey, question. Hear me out. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I know. Here, like, if there's a bad female in the middle of the road at nighttime, speed past her ass. I know. This sounds harsh. I know. This sounds harsh. But the world we live in right now, it's screaming a setup so clearly in your face. And I know people want to be calm, collective, and want to help people. But it can be a setup every time, and I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'm gonna be honest. You just getting speed pass just because of that alone.
fight,
Oh, I've been standing here for over an hour.
she said as she climbed in.
My sister lives in Millbrook. She'd let me crash. I'm Lucy, by the way.
Paul. I pulled back onto the highway, and she settled in, pulling her hood down. She was cute in an endearing sort of way, with brown hair that was stunning.
Like, why the fuck? Why she got an evil smile on her face? Like, we gotta start looking at this stuff, y'all. In-laws. Triple A. In-laws. That's the only thing you need to know.
I couldn't believe some jerk did that to her. Within 10 minutes, I felt comfortable enough to share where I worked, where my family lived, and crack a few jokes. She laughed at
where your family live. Oh yeah, you too trustworthy. You was finna do it regardless of what answers I have given out to you as wisdom.
all of them, made comments about songs on the radio, said I was one of the good ones for stopping.
So, do you have a girlfriend?
Lucy sang. No.
What? You're kidding. Are all the girls around you idiots?
I blushed slightly as Lucy rested.
Come on, man. She just, like, hear her story, bro. She just said her boyfriend kicked her out. You do not move on this quick. We gotta start analyzing.
Her hand on my thigh, I looked down to see where her palms were sliding when I noticed the one show she still had on. Her right.
I would've, bitch. She got your feet on it. Oh yeah, I would, nigga. Yeah, I did it again. I did it in the last story. I'm doing it again. You had to get out. And I know I can whoop her ass. You feel me? She gonna have to get out. Mud on the
Foot was propped against the dashboard, and the sole was covered in dark stain.
Nigga, the footprint all over your glove apartment. She got 2 legs up. I know
Stains that looked thicker and stickier than dirt.
I mean glove box, my fault.
It was almost black in the dim light from the dashboard. She followed my eyes and laughed.
It's just roadkill. I stepped on a dead possum. Gross, right?
She asked if I had napkins. I told her to check the glove box.
You ain't use my fucking napkins to clean your shoes. What the fuck, nigga? I'm stopping the car. You better scrape them hoes on the concrete. Like, what the fuck? You being too nice.
She rummaged around while I
pissed
kept
me
driving, but something felt off. The stains didn't look like roadkill. They looked fresh. As she started wiping, a nasty metallic smell hit me. It filled the car so fast I almost gagged. I started to say maybe I should pull over so she could clean her shoe outside, but before I could finish the sentence,
No way.
pain exploded in my left thigh. I looked down and saw the box cutter in her hand. The blade was buried in my leg, and she was pressing it deeper.
Don't scream. Keep driving, Paul.
Her voice was sickeningly calm and friendly, as if we were discussing the weather, when I could hardly breathe. Blood was already soaking through my jeans. My foot spasmed on the gas pedal, and the car lurched forward. She twisted the blade slightly.
Making me feel more pain. Like, at least keep it as a minimum. Then if I make moves, you start squirming around with the blade, nigga, you just putting that bitch in. I'm doing as you say.
I said keep driving.
She pulled the blade out, and I gasped, stars exploding across my vision.
See? You can be smart when you want to be.
My hands were shaking so hard on the wheel that I could barely hold it straight. Blood was running down my leg, pooling in my shoe. I tried to think through the pain, tried to figure out what to do. We were on a dark stretch of highway with no other cars in sight. She told me to take the next exit as she leaned closer and explained it to me.
Men like you pull over, seeing a woman all by herself. What now? Gonna stop without thinking again? Thinking you can use her circumstances for your advantage?
I kept nodding, trying to look compliant, while my mind raced. Ahead, I could see orange construction cones narrowing the lanes. Headlights were coming from the opposite direction.
Okay, I'll do whatever you want. Just please don't hurt me anymore.
I sobbed. Lucy relaxed slightly, settling back into her seat. I kept driving toward the construction zone. The cones were getting closer. I waited until the oncoming traffic was maybe 50 feet away and slammed on the brakes hard. The car screeched, tires screamed against asphalt. Lucy lurched forward as I yanked the wheel hard right. We careened off the road, smashing through orange cones. The shoulder was gravel and dirt. The car bounced violently, fishtailing. The airbags exploded. White fabric slammed into my face, stunning me. My chest hurt. My leg was on fire. But I was alive. Lucy was screaming too. The box cutter had flown from her hand somewhere in the impact. I shoved the deflating airbag out of my face, fumbled with my seatbelt, and threw myself out of the car.
Okay, what's your next plan?
My leg buckled, and I went down. But I could hear voices. Someone had seen the crash. I screamed for help as two guys came running from a stopped truck. Behind me, I heard my car door open, followed by footsteps on gravel. I turned and saw her standing
No way.
there, blood on her face from the airbag, staring at the approaching men. For a second, she looked right at me. Then, she turned and ran into the darkness beyond the construction lights. The guys reached me. One was already on his phone, calling 911. The other pressed something against my leg, trying to stop the bleeding. They asked what happened and who that was. I couldn't answer. I was shaking too hard. The cops found her shoe in my car later. They ran tests and discovered it wasn't animal blood like she'd claimed. It was human. Type B positive. They're still trying to match it to a victim to figure out who she was and where she went. I needed 18 stitches in my leg, and I walk with a limp when it rains. I don't stop for hitchhikers anymore, or for anyone stranded on the side of the road, no matter how desperate they look
I told you that myself, nigga. Like, that was a dumb idea.
or how guilty I feel driving past. Because now I know that sometimes the people who look like they need the help the most are the ones you should be running from. And that kindness can get you killed.
Indeed.
I left around midnight after Dad threw a plate at my head again. It missed, but the explosion of ceramic against the wall told me everything I needed to know. I looked at my mom, who was passed out on the couch with an empty pill bottle on her chest. I grabbed my backpack and walked out of the place I'd been calling home. I was 15, with nowhere to go except Marcus's, my best friend, who lived about 40 miles north and had promised I could crash at his place anytime.
Nigga, you walk 40 miles, nigga? Oh, you fucking tripping. In the middle of the night, too. Hey, me and Pops was gonna have a box, nigga. I'm not walking 40 miles in the middle of the night. I wouldn't even walk 10 miles in the middle of the night. You was tripping. Yeah, hell no.
My folks let their addiction cloud whatever parental affection they had left. That night, I'd finally decided to take him up on it. But the problem was getting there with $7 in my pocket and a dead phone. I walked for 2 hours until I hit the highway. It was one of those empty stretches where you could stand in the middle of the road and not see a single soul for 10 minutes straight. When I finally saw headlights, my heart jumped. I stuck my thumb out, but the truck slowed.
The fuck? Hey, I would have looked through that window, nigga, turned right back straight, nigga. I'm getting back to walking. I'm not getting in the car with that. That's a Jeepers Creepers vehicle.
Like, before
look
it
at
even
him.
reached me. The guy rolled down the window and smiled. "Need a ride, kid?" I nodded and told him I was heading north. He unlocked the
This nigga did ass like a fish man. Like, I'm not getting in that damn car. He unlocked that shit.
passenger door without taking his eyes off me. The guy looked maybe 40.
Bro.
He was clean-shaven and wore a gray hoodie
Ain't no
that
way you
looked
get-
too expensive for someone driving a beat-up truck at midnight. "Thanks," I smiled, climbing in. The truck smelled like coffee and a stingy chemical that made my throat burn. The dude introduced himself as Carl as we pulled back onto the highway. For the first few minutes, it was quiet, but I could feel his eyes on me. "Rough night, huh? What, running away from home?" "I could tell. I've picked up my fair share of runaways over the years." He chuckled as he adjusted the rearview mirror to see me better. I remained silent. He clicked his tongue and asked, "So, how old are you, Jonah?" 18. I lied.
Nigga, what the fuck? It looks like you crying already.
He guffawed, muttering something condescending under his breath, before he told me how he knew I was lying and didn't look
Nigga, he said that nigga lying. Yeah, we been on that though.
a day older than 15. My stomach dropped. He laughed at my face. "Perfect." He breathed the word out slowly. Like he was safe.
No cat, you might actually die in this story. You did as might die in this story.
Savoring it. "That's the perfect age." The way he said it made my skin crawl. I watched him from the corner of my eye. He was drumming his fingers on the steering wheel in this weird rhythm. My throat was drying up. You sick? Got any allergies or medical problems?" His
Hell
tone
yeah.
was conversational, but there was something underneath it that seemed eager. I shook my head. Good. He nodded to himself. "Does anyone know you're out here?" I lied and said my friend was expecting me and would call the cops if I didn't show. Carl glanced at me, and for the first time, the smile slipped. He asked what time. 1 a.m., I replied. He checked the dashboard clock. It was 12:45. The smile came back, but it was different now.
I'm not gonna lie, dog. You are giving all the right answers besides the first one I said, and I agree with you. I thought that was a good answer too, but I guess not. But this next part for you, my boy, he's not. But it don't look like he's buying it, or he just doesn't give a fuck. It's why is he smiling?
Plenty of time. We passed an exit sign for Route 47, but Carl didn't slow down. If anything, he sped up when I told him that it was my turn. I know a better route. Suddenly, his voice had lost that friendly tone. I said I needed that exit, but Carl hardly responded. He just kept accelerating. Panic started to claw in. My heart was pounding as I reached for the door handle and pulled it, but it wouldn't work. I tried again, yanking harder. The handle moved, but the door stayed shut. Carl's hand shot out and grabbed my wrist. His grip was ice cold. Don't do that. The handle's broken from the inside. He let go, but kept his eyes on me too long before looking back at the road. I asked where we were going. Somewhere nobody looks for runaway kids. He winked and started that finger tapping again. My hands were shaking. I was sweating despite the cold air. I wiped my forehead with my sleeve, and that's when Carl saw the scar on my forearm, thick and pink, running from wrist to elbow. Carl's whole body went rigid. He slammed the brakes so fast I lurched forward. He pulled onto the shoulder. His eyes were glued to my arm, and he suddenly looked furious. What the hell is that? I told him it was a scar that I'd gotten by climbing a fence to escape some guys who jumped me. When? How long ago? 3 weeks back, I replied. He sat there breathing through his nose, with the tapping getting faster, his jaw clenched tight. Finally, he got out and walked around to my side, and the door opened from the outside. Get out! Fear had made me freeze. He grabbed my arm and yanked me onto the gravel. I stumbled and almost fell. He was standing over me with his face twisted in disgust. They want clean, perfect kids with no scars. Do you have any idea how much time I wasted on you? His foot shot out and kicked me in the shin. I groaned and doubled over as he climbed back into the truck and peeled out, spraying gravel. I watched the taillights disappear down the highway until there was nothing but darkness and the sound of my own breathing. I stood there.
No, God, why did my dumbass think that he was just gonna beat the shit out of you, then bring you back to your friends in 15 minutes? I don't know why the hell I thought that. I don't know what world I was in thinking that dumb shit. Cause I'm thinking when he said perfect, that's enough time, that's the first thing that came to mind. I don't know why.
Trying to process what had just happened, trying not to think about what would have happened if I hadn't had that scar. It took 3 hours to limp to a gas station. Marcus picked me up. I never told him what happened. I'm 17 now and living with Marcus's family. I never told anyone about that night, but I think about Carl and the way he looked at me like I was merchandise. About the kids who got into that truck and were perfect. And I wonder how many of them are still alive.
Hey, you feel me? I'm glad you know, though, you feel not to get no fucking car next time. Dumbass nigga. But hey, if you haven't messed with the video, make sure to like and subscribe. We out. And there go Dizzy. What? Arrogant that nigga, but he's friendly. What? And there go Dizzy. Arrogant that nigga, but he's friendly. Hold on, it's all damn. All damn. Hold on, it's all damn. All damn. Hold on, it's all damn. All damn. Arrogant ass nigga, but he's friendly.